Up next, second grade math should be simple enough, right? I had a second grader. Well, not with Common Core. Meet the frustrated dad defending his kid with an amazing letter to the teacher.
Subtracting simple numbers should be easy enough, but not according to some parents who are fed up with the Common Core strategy. One of those parents, a second grader's father, got so frustrated he did something very unique. Joining us right now from North Carolina is Jeff Sievert. Jeff, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Okay, now I understand your second grade son, who is pretty good at math, was really frustrated by this new Common Core assignment, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
Why?
It was an assessment, a kind of a math test, yes.
Okay, and what was he having trouble with?
Well, it was a word problem, kind of on steroids, so to speak. He had to analyze what a fictional student did incorrectly, do the right math in his head, or somehow process that, and then write a letter to Jack that would describe exactly what Jack did right, but also what Jack did wrong. He could have done differently to get the answer correct.
He's in second grade.
This is true. And he has learning disability, so yeah.
Well, so you were frustrated because he was frustrated, and you wrote back on his assignment. You wrote this. Dear Jack.
That's correct, yeah.
You wrote, don't feel bad. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in electronics engineering, which included extensive study in differential equations and other higher math applications. Even I cannot explain the Common Core mathematics approach, nor get the answer correct. In the real world, simplification is valued over complication. Therefore, 427 minus 316 equals 111. The reaction after that was posted to Facebook has been unbelievable.
Yeah, indeed. My wife actually was the one who, she is a school teacher in the public schools herself. She was the one that came across it in his homework notebook that I'd put back in, writing the letter after he went to do his bed routine. So he's never seen this letter that I wrote. But she came across it and thought it was great, and her friends on Facebook, who are also teachers, many of them, would appreciate it. And she took a picture and she posted it on her Facebook page, and it went viral from there.
Sure, it has, absolutely. And the point is, you know, a lot of kids are frustrated, parents are frustrated as well, because in this instance, the Common Core is teaching a second grader something that is a little too advanced for him, right?
Well, that's correct, and it's a bit of a twist. I mean, the Common Core standards are there, and you know, they don't specifically prescribe this kind of problem.
Sure.
But by the time it gets to application rolled out in the states, that teachers have a voluminous amount of learning objectives in every subject area that they've got to teach. They've got to cover and document that has been covered as taught multilaterally, and so they've got to absolutely time compress the day to work writing assignments or assessments through a math assessment, and such was the case. And this is by necessity, not really the teacher's fault. It's the situation they're in, as they're just as frustrated by this as the parents.
And you would know, because as you mentioned a moment ago, your wife is a teacher. They're frustrated with the Common Core agenda as well. What about the reaction that you have received across the country?
Well, I'm stunned by it, of course, and I would have cleaned it up, certainly, if I'd known it would have gone viral and been under the scrutiny of everyone, especially engineering folks out there, because I made an error in the chaos of working with my son. We were an hour into going through this assessment. This was page 3, and we turned to this problem, and he had a meltdown. And we had already been through the whole process of tears and every strategy I know to keep him focused, but he has autism spectrum disorder. And he's not alone. There's an increasing number of children with that. And so rather than being inclusive, it ends up being exclusive, at least in our case.
And that's the problem. And many children who do not suffer from the same thing as your son are having the same problems as well, because it is frustrating. And that's why you're the frustrated dad. Jeff Sievert, we thank you very much for joining us today.